the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on.
Oh yes, my Straight Talk family, I do humbly apologize for my tardy start tonight. And really, that was entirely beyond my control. And I beg your forgiveness. And just to welcome you, wherever you are in the world, because we are on the World Wide Web, let me say greetings to you. And we communicate with you from the beautiful federation of two islands, one beautiful paradise, in St. Kitts and Nevis. So let me say good night, St. Kitts, good night, Nevis, good night to the entire Caribbean region. And welcome all to Straight Talk, and thanks to all those who share the link, because we do have first-timers. And just to let the first-timers know that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues, on Straight Talk, we do have a forum. You do have a forum to express yourselves freely. And on this program, we try as well to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I thank Almighty God for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And like I said before, I know that you are all over the world, so I'm at liberty to say good night. I'm at liberty to say good morning, and I'm also at liberty to say good afternoon, because some of you are in Asia, some of you are in Africa, there's some of you in Europe, and there are a whole lot of you all over North America. And if you're a first timer, let me pledge, and for those who are with me all the time, happy to have you, let me pledge one more time to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness, as I'm always reminded of the words of a favorite hymn of mine, written by Thomas Jackson and Franz Joseph Haydn, which goes something like this. My Straight Talk family, we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and for the right, stand firm for natural justice, for godly justice, I should say, my Straight Talk family, and bringing evil things to light. So let's seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. So my Straight Talk family, welcome, and let me reassure you that absolutely nothing is watered down on this program to make it more interesting, neither by omission nor by exaggeration. Straight Talk is not about sensationalism, I must hasten to add. We are not about creating excitement, especially at the expense of accuracy, because we always try to lean on the facts. And it's my duty to present the unvarnished truth, I call it, the plain truth, you may call it, especially when it comes to governance, transparency, accountability, and integrity, wherever you are in the world, and certainly here in St. Kitts, because we are joined together with people across our federation. We are joined together with people in the diaspora all around the world. Some of you we know very well and have met. Others we do not know and may never ever meet physically, that is, because we meet spiritually, I'm sure. And some of us will agree with the positions of truth we advance right here on Straight Talk. Some will disagree, and that's okay, because we promote diversity. I remember the last episode, I'm happy to see someone told me they were educating me, and that's good, because it's a learning process, and I'm a strong proponent of continuing professional developments. If I can get free education, I grab it. Believe me, I do. So let's just thank Almighty God, nonetheless, for helping us to understand, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let us therefore hope and pray for the day when we will all sing His praise together. So welcome again, my people, and thanks for those who continue to share the link. You bring first-timers. Please continue to do so. Let me remind the first-timers and to inform the first-timers that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls, we include your emails, and if you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your screens, on your monitors there. And some of you who like what I call the cloak of anonymity, that is, we give you access via our email platform, and that's also on your screens. Straight Talk Patches that's one word, at gmail.com. And we welcome all the Alexa Massive. Those of you who have the app, just say Alexa Play, and you're right into Straight Talk. And there's some of you who have made donations, and some still ask me how to make these donations. And there's no limit to what we accept. Neither there's no lower or higher threshold. Whatever you are moved to give, feel free. But all you have to do is scan that code on your screen. Just scan it. You go to restaurants and you scan the menus, just scan that code there on your screens. And a form will come up. Very simple. And all you have to do, and it takes you a few minutes, there's a payment form. You follow the instructions, and I'm sure in 2 minutes, you'll be all done, and I'll say thank you again for your support and for helping us to keep the dialogue alive. I say a special welcome to my junior brigade. Someone asked me, why do I have to call my junior brigade? Yes, I have to. Those young ones, they listen up for their hail up. Dwayne, Tristan, Shama, Kevin, Rue, all over there in South Carolina. Hope you're still on the Dean's list, or the honor roll, I think it is. Jamal in Anguilla, Travis and Travon, and never hear the end of it if I don't say Nema, my grandson, and his good friend Saraya. They all listen to hear their hail up. And that special lady in St. Louis, and that queen in Texas. And we usually begin with our observations and review, which is an integral part of our program. Then we move on into our thesis. And then we give you an opportunity to have your say. And our thesis is a very thought-provoking one. It's the truth, though. We always bring you the truth. And it's titled Tangled Diplomatic Web and Thieves in Cabinet. Yes. Tangled Diplomatic Web and Thieves in the Cabinet. So don't you change the platform, don't change your link, just spread the word that Straight Talk is live on social media, YouTube, Facebook, and Alexa. And I always say, if you love the program, tell the whole world about it. If you don't, feel free to tell me. But our first observation, again, we reflect on an issue we raised before with respect to our long-standing relations with Cuba and the medical health assistantships, I call it, my Straight Talk family, which our country has benefited from immensely over several decades. We cited Marco Rubio's announced restrictions. Marco Rubio, as we know, is the U.S. Secretary of State. And he announced restrictions on visas for both government officials in Cuba and others worldwide who are, as he put it, complicit with their overseas medical assistance programs. Since our program last week, our Prime Minister has finally, eventually, commented, and amongst other things, he had this to say, my Straight Talk family.
Our Cuban-trained professionals have become pillars of society. Let there be no doubt. Cuban professionals in St. Kitts and Nevis are treated with dignity, fairness, and respect. They are provided with comfortable housing at the expense of the government. They receive compensation commensurate with the well-established and statutorily approved government pay scale for professionals with similar expertise.
And my Straight Talk family, while most of us, or most of what I should say, our Prime Minister said, the issue of complicity derives from the fact that was reconfirmed, shared anonymously by some Cubans, and revealed that 50% of their salary is retained by the Cuban embassy here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And this, our source confirmed, is one of the conditions agreed to by the medical staff during their recruitment phase. There are, however, further developments in the United States or the U.S. visa restriction matter, but these I'm going to address within the body of our thesis for tonight. So I'll move into my second observation, and Straight Talk is still keeping the Director of Public Prosecution, Adlai Smith, and the Commissioner of Police, James Sutton. We are still keeping you both honest in your dealings with the ongoing investigation regarding the killing of young Dr. Simonette Williams. We are not going to let up until we hear from you. We will thus continue to hold you two public officers accountable to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And our third observation, my Straight Talk family, deals with a matter that's been ongoing for nigh 2 years. Yes. For nigh 2 years, we witnessed the incompetence displayed by this team of experts, or beyond 2 years, I should say. We have witnessed the incompetence displayed by this team of experts in office. And one in particular is featured regularly on this program, and he is Minister Samuel Duggins. Who would believe that another season of sports athletics is about to come to an end, and the schools in particular will again have no access to the Kim Collins Stadium, as it is called. And this is because focus, it seems, was placed on completing the stand and the VIP section of that stand being upgraded. And what a great job was done, it seems, on the seating in particular at that Kim Collins stand, my Straight Talk family. Good job. Brand new seating. And as I said, additional work done on the VIP section. But not enough emphasis was placed on refurbishing the track, my Straight Talk family. No emphasis was placed on refurbishing the track. No matter what excuse you would have heard about the rain and so, and rain impeding progress. But surely Samuel did not get his priorities in order. He didn't understand that it makes no point to have a stand and no track for us to enjoy the different races and the talents of the young athletes on display at the Kim Collins facility. You know, my Straight Talk family, we could have had the track completed and no stand. And the young children in particular would have enjoyed going to Kim Collins Stadium. But that was not the way or the order in which Samuel saw it. But those are my observations tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I'll right into my thesis, which, as I said, I have titled Tangled Diplomatic Web and Thieves in Cabinet. And my Straight Talk family, nestled in the heart of the Caribbean, St. Kitts and Nevis is a federation of two beautiful islands, believe me, but one lovely paradise, known for its warm hospitality, one's tranquil beauty, and close-knit community. Right now, however, our federation is ensnared in a web of complex geopolitics and internal corruption. Our federation is currently caught between a global power, the mighty United States of America, and its regional tensions with communist Cuba. Additionally, our Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis finds itself being forced to navigate a turbulent diplomatic landscape that has only worsened by the betrayal of some of our former and unfortunately our current leaders. The revelation of thieves in cabinet who have betrayed the trust of the people has added another layer of chaos to a federation already struggling with external pressures, my straight dog family. Many ask the question, how these two tiny islands, once symbols of peaceful resilience, in their quest for independence from colonial Britain, now have to grapple with the weight of both international intrigue and homegrown deceit that is being uncovered daily. The world changed when Donald J. Trump first moved into the Oval Office as the 45th President of the United States. And since he has returned as the 47th President, suddenly, and as anticipated, there has been a particular swing, a particular shift in the geopolitical pendulum. And if there are a few things that the world must expect and understand, is the dawn of a social, economic, and political realignment world over. How will each sovereign country be affected is going to be determined by diplomatic, trade, and other issues, my straight dog family. Denzel Douglas, the Minister of Trade, spoke about promise in the future. But we are concerned about the present. It's the present that matters, and matters most. And according to Douglas, there are challenges, and we are not doing well, were his words, my straight dog family.
Trade, of course, the development of trade in St. Kitts and Nevis, and where we are, continues to be quite a bit of a challenge. I mentioned earlier that the manufacturing sector, which traditionally would have been providing most of our goods, manufactured goods to export, that of course is not doing well. The traditional exports therefore have dwindled, but we still have some promise in the future.
Promise in the future, some optimism coming through there from the second Prime Minister, DD. But he informed us that manufacturing and trade are not doing well. To make matters worse, our Citizenship by Investment Program, our CBI, which has always remained under the microscope of the U.S. Treasury Department since back in 2014 under the Douglas administration. The FinCEN advisory, my straight dog family, was issued back then. And it has not been rescinded, has it? But today, my straight dog family, that FinCEN advisory speaks to illicit actors being facilitated through our CBI. But today, my Straight Dog family, St. Kitts Nevis face a possible travel ban or visa restrictions if our incompetent leader and his cabinet of experts do not address some deficiencies within 60 days, according to the news coming out of the United States of America.
A new draft travel ban making the rounds at the White House recommends travel restrictions for 43 countries, primarily in the global south.
It's clearly discriminating against developing nations.
According to reporting from the New York Times, the list includes 3 color-coded categories: red, orange, and yellow. 11 countries under the red list will potentially have all travel to the U.S. banned for their citizens. It includes Cuba, Syria, and Afghanistan. Alarming news for Maggie Salem, who works to resettle Afghan refugees, some who served with U.S. forces in Afghanistan and could face grave danger.
Adding Afghanistan to the list, if there isn't an exception made for these Afghan allies, and that's unclear right now, is really a significant change and something that's on top of the list itself being disturbing, even more disturbing.
Russia, Belarus, and Haiti are part of the 10 countries on the orange list, which calls for visas to be sharply restricted. And the yellow list includes over 20 countries, some in the Caribbean, that could face partial visa suspension if their governments fail to address, quote, deficiencies within 60 days. The new list of countries is far broader than the travel ban Trump imposed on 7 majority Muslim countries during his first term and faced several legal challenges before taking effect in 2018. Upon taking office, Trump ordered the State Department to recommend countries for visa restrictions because of inadequate vetting. But Salem says
the U.S. has the ability to vet and screen all refugees that come into the U.S. There is not a lack of information available to different security agencies in the U.S. to assess whether someone is an actual risk.
A U.S. official speaking anonymously to reporters says there could be changes to the list and has not yet been approved by the Trump administration. Candace Cole, Global News, Washington.
Coming from the Global News, my Straight Dog family. And very instructive. There is hope. Because we understand that President Trump has not approved the recommendations from his State Department. Straight Talk understands in the interim that the Prime Minister and or the CIU, the Citizenship by Investment Unit, hurriedly convened a meeting of stakeholders yesterday or Saturday with a view towards finalizing a strategy prior to meeting the U.S. officials. So some comfort can be found, as I said, in the report that the potential travel ban or possible visa restrictions were not signed by President Trump. Some are questioning the veracity of the document that was widely circulated in the international media. This document, my Straight Talk family, was circulated far and wide. Some of us are shouting and are cursing from our land of beauty, from right here across the Atlantic. But such actions cannot respectfully yield positive results. What are these ambassadors, our honorary consuls, or special envoys like Dr. Claxton and Warren Nero, to name a few? And what do they do? What do they really do? Someone asked me yesterday. Someone asked me, are they really paid for true? And if so, what are they being paid to do? It was another question that I was confronted with. But all they do, as I responded, seems as if they just eat off the hog. But our country under this Prime Minister is in dire trouble. And it goes from this tangled diplomatic web to a dirty scandal surrounding the East Coast housing development project, which this government in office, which, as I said, is an unclean government, and without doubt, thieves are in the cabinet. Thieves are in cabinet, my Straight Dog family. From the moment the Prime Minister announced his cabinet, the rape of the government treasury began with a $4 million hoist under the guise of building the R.L. Bradshaw Museum, my Straight Dog family. Under the guise and pretense of building the R.L. Bradshaw Museum. Then came the reliable rumor that the construction costs ballooned by over 100% to some $8 million without explanation from the Prime Minister's office, my Straight Dog family. The estimated time for the construction of this project was given as September 2022. Yes, September 2022. But work suddenly stopped, and not one word of explanation has come from the mouth of the Prime Minister. Not one word, my Straight Dog family. Not one word he has said for almost 2 years now, my Straight Dog family. But remember, he said this about the museum in July of 2022, just after he got into office.
Currently it's under construction, and we're hoping, really pushing to see if we can complete it by September 16th. I know that's a lofty goal, but we are really pushing. If not, definitely we want to complete it by this year. We expect it to cost in the region of maybe about $4 million. Construction is going on, and to about maybe $4 million grand total at the end of the day.
Imagine that, my Straight Dog family. Expected to be complete in September 2022. Estimated cost $4 million, which ballooned, my Straight Dog family. But the rape of the government treasury continued with another blatant hoist of some $5.8 million purportedly to buy 1,000 water tanks. Most people call them water buckets, my Straight Dog family. The hoist of $5.8 million. And let us not forget that the Prime Minister confessed that he preferred a bucket with holes rather than a bucket without a bottom. Yes, my Straight Dog family. We asked what's happening with that project as well.
That's important for our country. The CBI came to a crisis point. Water came to a crisis point. Energy and electricity came to a crisis point. These are the very basic things that you would need. Economy and national security came to a crisis point as well, with how they corruptly run the program before. And so, Cornelius, you have asked that question. So I said to those persons, is it prudent that we do that? And we could not have even maintained it. If we had not made any changes, we would have lost the program, period. So here we have a decrease in revenue, yes, but we still have a program. What if we had lost the period we had lost the period outright? Then we'll have nothing. And then the bottom would really have dropped out. Instead of having some challenges, we would have had a bucket with no bottom. We have a bucket with some holes in the bottom. But that is better than a bucket with no bottom at all. And therefore, we did what we had to do to save the program and give us an opportunity to diversify. So I will say that that has to be considered within the grand scheme of things. You had asked something else?
Yes, my Straight Dog family. Think about it. A bucket with holes is better than a bucket without a bottom. So this bucket that Dr. Drew is carrying is filled with holes. Got a lot of holes, my Straight Dog family. But hear this. There's a big gaping hole in the government treasury that will soon be fully exposed. Never mind the slow student Jeffrey Hanley has told the media about the housing revolution, beg your pardon. And I dare say, nothing but a multi-million-dollar scam, my Straight Dog family. In May 2023, the slow student Jeffrey Hanley made an historic revelation about the contract signed on behalf of the NHC, the National Housing Corporation that is, to construct 2,400 houses. My Straight Dog family, just last year, one model home was completed and delivered to that particular owner over there in Connery. And there was also one completed in the Taylor's Village area, my Straight Dog family. And Jeffrey the slow student spoke about the collaboration with the local contractors, my Straight Dog family. He said this:
the collaboration between our local contractors and East Coast Development Trinidad represents a golden opportunity. The introduction of the innovative concrete form technology is a game changer.
And my Straight Dog family, would you believe that the contractor, Brian Singh, my Straight Dog family, told the country that we will never ever be homeless in this country. And all of a sudden, Brian Singh is a wanted man. Search is out for his return to St. Kitts. But before that, our Prime Minister told the country this, my Straight Dog family.
I want to take this opportunity to highlight the Minister of Housing. Because we made a promise to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis that we will build 2,400 houses. We said to them that the houses will be stronger, that they will be able to withstand Category 5 hurricanes. We said to them that they will come with the opportunity for you to extend. We also say that they will come with basic appliances and cupboards and good tiling and all of the other amenities that would make a home fitting for you, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And we were doubted because if you were not in our position, you would doubt as well. If you were not in the position of East Coast, you would doubt as well. So those of us on the inside, even though the storm was raging on the outside, the storms of doubt and the storm of talking innuendos and the accusations that this is not possible, we did not respond in kind. We said that at the right time, the program and the houses will speak for themselves.
The Prime Minister also told us, my Straight Dog family, that land was available for 100 homes. He also told us this.
To say that East Coast has stepped up its activity significantly, and we have identified the land to start those 100 homes that I say must be started before the end of this year. We are well on our way, Madam Speaker. Those I'll take picture with, and I'll take the pictures in the next week and a half, Madam Speaker. So the homes are well on the way, Madam Speaker.
Homes are well on the way. Where are the pictures, Terence Michael July? There was collaboration Yes, according to the slow student Jeffrey Hanley, there was collaboration until contractors were not paid, we are told, by East Coast Housing Development. And we are told that Brian Singh went missing. The office is closed on a daily basis. If you go by there on the Frigate Bay Road, you'll see that office closed. But recall, my Straight Dog family, that the debt was secured by the government guarantee. There's a backstop by government guaranteeing $600 million, my Straight Dog family. And there's a resolution passed in the parliament of St. Kitts and Nevis. That resolution, my Straight Dog family, was passed in the parliament of St. Kitts and Nevis. Believe it or not, my Straight Dog family. Resolution number 18 of 2024, it reads, Resolution of the National Assembly of St. Christopher and Nevis authorizing the guarantee for the National Housing Corporation Climate Smart Homes Program, it reads. And this was published in June of 2024, my Straight Talk family. But read it closely. Read it closely, my Straight Talk family. Whereas it is provided as per section 55B of the Finance Administration Act, my Straight Dog family. Cap 2013, it reads that the guarantee of a financial liability shall not be given by the government unless it is authorized by a resolution of the National Assembly. And whereas the government on April 20th, 2023, because my Straight Dog family, and it reads the East Coast Housing Development, and it goes on. But 2023, as I said, but this was published 1 year later, in 2024. You see the trickery of this government, my Straight Dog family? They sneaked the resolution into Parliament just about the adjournment. No discussion, no debate. But my Straight Dog family, the resolution is telling. Read it for yourselves, my Straight Dog family. Read it for yourselves, my Straight Dog family. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the National Assembly of St. Christopher and Nevis that the government hereby guarantees a sum of $10,260,000 United States dollars, representing a guarantee of the sums to be contractually payable by the National Housing Corporation to East Coast Housing to construct the first phase of climate smart homes on lands owned by resident landowners of St. Kitts who have been approved by the National Housing Corporation. Approved by the National Assembly on the 14th day of June 2024. So ask the question, where is that almost $30 million? What was it for? Was this a conspiracy to defraud the people of St. Kitts and Nevis? My Straight Dog family, as my good friend in construction would say, money missing on a high-rise building is not the same as money missing from a low-income housing project. Did Garth Lucifer Wilkin cover up the contract? did Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin cover up the contract? Is another question we ask. He said it was easy to end the contract. Remember, Garth Lucifer Wilkin said this, my Straight Talk family, very easy to end the contract, he said.
2 model homes will be built that the contract contemplates. During the construction of those model homes, the local contractors will get to learn the modern technique, the special technique that is being used for these reinforced concrete slab homes. If the government is not satisfied with the homes or the construction, whether they could withstand serious hurricanes and earthquakes and so forth, which the government has experts who can verify that, and whether NHC is not satisfied with the homes, then the contract comes to an end.
As simple as that, my Straight Dog family. The contract will come to an end. But have you ever stopped to think and ask yourselves, well, why didn't the Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin advise the government to sign a contract for the 2 model homes instead of 2,400 houses? Why didn't Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin tell us, Garth Wilkin, why didn't you recommend that East Coast Housing Development and NHC sign a contract for the 2 model homes? And if they were in order, if they were satisfactory, as you said, then you move to another contract for the 2,398 homes. I say so because East Coast Housing Development has no track record. East Coast Housing Development has no project references. But you can't start wrong and end right. You can't. So who gone with all that money? $10 million and more missing. Was the slow student cashing the check? And my Straight Talk family, we must give these incompetent bunch of politicians in the cabinet one term. It is important we give them one term so we can get safeguards. We can have guardrails to the Treasury. I remember PEP. I'm sure you remember PEP as well. I remember when Denzel Douglas was introducing the slow student, he said this about the PEP program.
Jeffrey has been the manager of that infamous People's Employment Program.
Infamous People's Employment Program. That's how Douglas introduced Jeffrey Hanley. I remember that very well, my Straight Dog family. And I'm sure many of you did. Remember all the issues surrounding the PEP program? And famous investigative reporter, Val T, has gone to the great beyond and he didn't get an answer to his question. I remember Val T asked this question at the press conference, my Straight Dog family.
In the past 4 weeks, there's some allegations that's been made that close to $2 million was transferred into an account during the time of the Labour Party administration when one Dr. Hanley was in charge of the PEP program. Is there any truth to that? Or is there any evidence there for that?
And that was a question put to the third Prime Minister. And this was his response to the question, my Straight Dog family. Very interesting response as well. He said this.
Say that we are doing the necessary follow-through on some of the information We have had persons come forward and said that items intended for PEP went into event planning and other activities. So we are looking at those, but it is still too soon. I am also aware that very early in the life of PEP, the Accountant General Office did in fact had cause, based on certain outcry, to conduct an internal audit on the management of PEP. And that report is being reviewed also. And at the
And my Straight Talk family, I have a copy of the breakdown of expenditure under the slow student when he managed the PEP. And over $2 million was spent in a business owned by one of his families. So my Straight Talk family, when I heard of this housing project, 2,400 houses to be built by one Brian Singh, I smiled. And I asked myself, or I said to myself, somebody will be cashing a check. Was it the slow student? My Straight Dog family, again, I implore you, I beg you, the time will come soon, very soon, sooner than we expect. And we must make certain that we go out and give this bunch of incompetent, corrupt cabinet one term if we are going to safeguard the treasury. My Straight Dog family, from a diplomatic perspective, restricting visas would decrease airline bookings and ultimately hotel occupancy would drop significantly as stay-over arrivals would decrease here in St. Kitts and Nevis. What will become of those jobs in the sector, the hotel sector, and the hub services industry, which is the mainstay in our economy? My Straight Talk family, in conclusion, I submit the July Labour administration is having an identity crisis. It is the lowest ever ranking of the Labour Party according to the results of a survey that was conducted in January 2025. Terence Michael July has also been ranked as the most unpopular and most corrupt leader the country has ever seen. In terms of favorability, Terence Michael Drew, our leader, runs far behind Timothy Harris and Denzel Douglas. So my Straight Dog family, I conclude, we are in a tangled diplomatic web with thieves in the cabinet. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family, and I am not going to change it. I will entertain your calls and your emails and open the lines momentarily. And when I do, I anticipate, my Straight Dog family, that you will respect yourselves. I anticipate, my Straight Dog family, that in the process of respecting yourselves, you will respect others. You'll be fair to all concerned. You'll try to build goodwill and better friendships, my Straight Dog family. And in the process of saying and or doing those things, Let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. In spite of the tangled diplomatic web and thieves in cabinet. I go to the lines, my Street Talk family. It's 1 minute before the 9 o'clock hour, and say good night to this, our first caller. Caller, you live.
Good night, Mr. Liburd.
Good night, my dear. And how are you tonight?
I am great. The quote for this evening. A people that elect corrupt politicians, imposters, thieves and traitors are not victims but accomplices. I repeat, a people that elect corrupt politicians, imposters, thieves and traitors are not victims but accomplices.
Imposters, thieves and what is it?
A people that elect corrupt politicians, imposters, thieves and traitors.
And traitors, okay.
Are not victims but accomplices.
Are not victims but accomplices. I got you loud and clear, my straight.
Okay, have a great evening.
Thank you for your quotations each time, my Street Talk family. Of people that elect corrupt politicians, imposters, thieves and traitors are not victims but accomplices. I think that's what I got. Very interesting quotation, my Street Talk family, and I go straight back to the line and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Yes, good night, Brother Patches.
Good night, sir.
Good night to all the listeners, far and near. Patches, tonight I'm loaded. Interested tonight, and I anticipate this would have been one day. It was just a matter of time. Now, first of all, I must say, of all the political parties, including misfit and recycled politicians, and hope there will be independence, I am saying as of tonight, we need to see every party, every individual who are in the mix for this upcoming election to release the manifesto so that I and we and all of us can see and analyze to see what makes sense and what does not make sense. So we could make up our minds than to be bought or sold. And vote, I'm talking about votes. Don't wait till the last moment, because this is not no hide and seek and no catch and carry or cash and carry. We need it now. I need to see what's going on. And also elaborate on their demeanor of their manifesto. Okay? No more tricks. No more hiding game. Moving from that, for what is going on with the civilized countries or nation in the Caribbean. This was expected from the State Department of the United States, because that CBI program, yes, it benefited all the islands, nations that were involved, but there was so much dishonesty, so much kleptocratic behavior. The U.S. being watching, and also the Europeans. You know the outcome of this? The U.S. don't want, the United States is vulnerable. And most of these poor people who buy our passport and other island passport is just, you think they want to come to St. Kitts or Nevis? They're using that bridge to get to the United States, whether they are terrorists or they meant good. But it is a national security basis. And I will condone with that demeanor by Donald Trump. I don't love him for his behavior of going up and behind. But it makes sense. We don't want to be vulnerable. And we don't want to make mainland vulnerable, because the mainland, okay, without the mainland of the United States, we can't survive unless we pay attention to our country, till the soil, and try to be at least some self-subsistence to our dire needs. And there are more to come. I'm gonna cite Philip Martinez's investigation, whether he was a fraud, fake, or phony. Remember what he said. He's gonna turn over all the information he has to the State Department. A payback is a bitch. And that's what is coming back. Because you see all those CBI islands and state, there was not honest to their citizen. Okay. There was not sharing. There was self-aggrandize and all for themselves. And wherever money is, we're going to find it. I will stop right there abruptly. I will leave the other one to come. I want to hear others. Thank you for hearing me. Bye for now.
Thank you very much for your contribution. We go straight back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Yes, man. You know that I'm a peaceful man. I want to ask you a question.
Is this the major?
Yes, of course. Of course.
Okay.
I want to catch you all because I want to sleep, you know.
Okay.
I want to ask you a question, Patches.
Uh-huh.
I want to ask you a question. This is beyond my mind for the whole day.
Uh-huh.
The whole day. And the start and shit, I'm glad for the time that I got me to ask you. And here's my question. Do you ever thought of rising to the top? You heard me?
Yes, but you always strive for your best. If the best puts you on the top,
yes.
Certainly.
Yes. So you agree with me then?
Not beyond limit. Yes, the top is never beyond limit.
Okay, so you agree with me.
Yes.
And for that to be done, Patches, you have to have ambition is important, isn't it?
Certainly.
Ambition, for that to be done, ambition has to be important. And mark you.
Well, attitude as well, sorry. Attitude.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Of course. And mark you. Your ambition, however, it has its dark side, you know. It has its dark side, isn't it?
Of course.
Yes, it has its dark side. Don't worry, don't laugh. It's serious business.
Vices,
it has its dark side.
Vices, they call them.
Yeah?
Some people call them they have vices, I think they call them.
Okay then, okay.
Yes.
Well, you see, yes, but because of that, Patches, because it has its dark side, it often has more to do with you elevating yourself. That will accomplish something noble for others. How that sound?
I'm listening.
Yeah?
I'm listening, my brother.
Yeah, it's something noble for others because when you accomplish that, you will help me and other friends to reach the top too. It ain't that you're going to go up there and stay there because it's going to be pure competition up there, you know, when you reach up there. So, it ain't going to you reach up there and you're going to relax. Well, you're elevating yourself, but at the same time, you know that you got people in the back there looking at you and say, well, if Patches go reach up there, I go up there too.
Well, so it's easy to get on the top, but it's hard to stay on the top. Yes, you've heard that all the time, yes. Yes. Well, because I want to be on the top, you know. So that is why I joined the military. Okay. That I move from a recruit to a major. And then I was able to go along to get something more. I was with the Governor General Sakot. Yes. You went to Buckingham Palace.
All over, man. All over. South Africa, Taiwan, South Africa, Taiwan, Rome. That was good because I want to get at the top. And because I want to get at the top, it just depends on my ambition.
Okay.
So you've been an ambitious man. Try your left to that, Patty.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for your input. That's the major. Yes, you say attitude determines altitude. We go back to the lines, caller. Thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Mr. Liburd, man. How you doing tonight, man?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Pretty good. Let me start off by asking you a question.
I thought the questions normally come from this side, though. But go ahead.
Coming from our leaders, right, in the Federation especially, they're saying that there's not an official communique from, the State Department concerning this Cuba thing. There's nothing in our embassy in Barbados and our embassy in Washington, D.C. So my question to you is, if there isn't an official communique, who are these leaders responding to? Why are they scrambling? It's like somebody's responding to a rumor or some fake news.
Well, where there's smoke, there's fire. Haven't you heard that before?
So who should be directing that to? To the leaders that's scrambling, or to the citizens to us who's running off our mouths, or what?
Well, no matter what we say about these journals, newspapers, the New York Times and other international newspapers carry this story about, quote unquote, a leaked memorandum. And that's something that's normal in the US. You lived there for a long time, and I'm sure you're aware of that.
Yep, and that New York Times is a very, very credible source.
Okay.
Very.
Yep.
Firstly, I must say, our leaders, I would probably want to say that they should stand up and talk collectively. But on the flip side to that, I'm going to say something that people might not want to hear. When we, the citizens, lost our visa-free status to Canada, do you know how those citizens felt when that happened? So if the United States bring this down on our leaders, let's see how they're going to feel then. Because guess what? They are fully responsible for all this stuff. This is just not a Cuban thing. The USA might be using Cuba as a decoy. But from the United States standpoint, after 9/11, they have listed countries around the world as terrorist countries, as terrorist organizations. They have blacklisted a lot of countries, put them on these watch lists. And as we see how the southern border of the United States was being flooded by people coming in illegally from all parts of the world. And then we are watching the sales of the passport. We're watching the sales of the passport in the Caribbean.
Okay.
So undoubtedly, America is very concerned about their national security.
Who isn't? Thanks a lot for your input, my dear brother.
I'll leave it there. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Yes, who isn't concerned about the national security? And how will each sovereign country be affected? Because we are all sovereign countries, and the CBI will always remain under the microscope of the US, Canada, Europe, believe it or not. But my Street Talk family, let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. It's your program, so let me allow you to have your say. I've had my say earlier. Calling you live. Hello, call.
Yes, good night, Patrick.
Good night, sir.
Good night. How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Well, that's nice. That's nice. I just called to have a little, my 2 pence, 2 cents in this conversation.
Always welcome.
And not being disagreeable, but I hope I make some sense and creating a conversation. Patrick, if this situation had happened at your time when your government was in power, what would be your conversation?
You're sending me here to speculate.
I'm asking you a question.
You're sending me to speculate here, right? but
well, I'm just challenging.
It's hypothetical, but I believe that
right.
Just to facilitate you. So I believe that you would try to hasten dialogue with.
Don't stutter. Just speak your mind, because
I am not stuttering. I said, well, that's part of my deficiency. But I said I will hasten to entertain dialogue with the powers that be. Let's talk about sovereignty and so on, right? And shouting. It sounds good. It sounds, robust. But the fact is, you have to look at the bigger picture. Whether we like it or not, I would entertain dialogue. And even though one says there's no official communication, then you must have relationships, whether with the embassy or where you have ambassadors overseas, get them working. I don't know if that answers your question.
Okay, well, I respect that. I would live with that. But I just want to say that we are independent country, okay? We are not subordinate to America. We are independent country, Caribbean islands, a lot of Caribbean islands. And this regime that is in power right now is a regime of racism and trying to oppress who they can and who they want to oppress. They're trying to oppress many parts of the world, and they're trying to oppress the Caribbean. But America needs the Caribbean islands. They need the borders of the Caribbean islands for security, for special reason, for drug trafficking, all kind of different things they need the Caribbean islands for. So if they want to oppress the Caribbean, if Trump regime want to oppress the Caribbean islands, the Caribbean islands could oppress them in certain circumstances too. But all these things, Mr. Patches, will pass away. It is a regime that is in power right now, that is flexing out their muscles and several countries. So that would pass away. We don't have to panic.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. So what are you suggesting now? I don't quite get you. We all know we are a sovereign country. Yes, we're independent, but are we really self-sufficient in the things we need? I mean, you may have your green card or your naturalized over there, but the average man, when Canada, for example, lifted the visa waiver, it was pandemonium. It was so much inconvenience. No disrespect to you, right? No disrespect to you, but you're speaking from a vantage point that you if you're not naturalized, you have your green card or whatever. So you're not exposed to any visa restrictions, although they want to even focus on the green card holders and have to be in the country for a certain time. But the fact is, the average man who lives here and would like to jump on American Airlines tomorrow and go pick up something there in Best Buy or one of those shops that's much cheaper than here and do their shopping for Christmas, or the families, if they can afford it, will do that. And if that is taken away, how do you think they will react? If you were in that position, how would you react?
Patches, I don't logically and technically, I don't think that would be taken away. It's a scary scam they're using the Caribbean islands people. They need us, Patrick. That would not be taken away so easily. Trust me.
We need each other. But that is why
America need the Caribbean islands.
I agree with you. That is why America is concerned about Cuba inviting, China and Russia into Cuba. So they don't want that on their doorstep. So what you're saying is correct. But if you have to look at the geopolitical situation and put all the things in the equation, then you'll understand that it is important that we have dialogue. Instead of confrontation, we have consultation. That's all I'm promoting.
I agree with you, right? And that is the conversation of the Caribbean leaders. Okay. They're having conversation.
Okay.
They're standing up. They are standing up for the human rights, and they are standing up for the legit rights that they should not be enslaved by no country because they are independent country, and not enslaved by America because they feel they are mighty superpower and they can put the Caribbean islands under subjection. We follow the rules.
Okay, my dear brother. Okay, I got you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. I'm sorry to cut you, but I have my lines going, right? I didn't mean to cut you like that, but I'll give you 5 seconds to wrap.
So, okay, well.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I thought it was. I gave you 5 seconds, but you didn't have no need for it. But thanks a lot for your contribution, and always good to hear you. And you know, my Straight Dog family, we hear this talk, and we seem to have forgotten when COVID-19 hit our federation. And yes, we are independent, but I'm focusing not just on independence. What about your self-sufficiency? Are we self-sufficient? If the tropical boat stops tomorrow, what will happen to us, innocent kids? Ask yourselves the question. The tropical comes every Tuesday. Sometimes the tropical comes late. Sometimes on a Monday you can't even find vegetables in the supermarket. But that's the whole thing. Bratcher been talking about self-sufficiency. Simmons came about self-sufficiency in agriculture. So too Tim Harris. So too Denzel Douglas. And now Dr. Joe. But are we self-sufficient in agriculture? Can we feed ourselves? Some will talk about 2020, 25 by 25. These are issues that we must really address. And again, we don't need to argue and shout from across the Atlantic. Let us have dialogue. Mr. DJ Marishaw reads this email. I'm an ardent listener to your Wednesday weekly program. First, I want to thank you for your remarkable courage and for this very sensitive information that you incessantly unearth and share with the listening public. Reads this email. Everyone should commend and praise your bravery. You must understand that the majority of us here are cowards and lack the tenacity to call a spade and call wrong doing wrong. There are a few like-minded others in the persons of Patches, McMahon, Gwyneth, and Big Lies, who should be credited as well. I would have liked to include Dwyer as well, but I cannot, because he's very unstable and exceedingly protective of certain government officials, despite the fact he's fully aware of their corrupt practices. Look how robust he defended the Attorney General when he broke the Social Security laws. But later on, ironically, he called upon the said Attorney General to resign following a terrible breach of conflict of interest on the part of him, the Attorney General. Because Marisha, last week you boldly challenged Dwyer to do a commentary on the Nevis long outstanding and unfinished hospital wing. And you know, Marisha, I had to laugh because Dwyer will never honor your request because it's one of the premier protectors and defenders in all of the corrupt practices taking place in the CCM administration. Unless you forget, Marisha, in the last campaign, Team Unity and Dwyer was calling for the arrest of all of the Unity ministers, some of which he named, but he never singled out Mark by name, but included him under the umbrella of all of them. Mr. Dupont used to criticize him severely on the same issue for his hypocrisy. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, pleasant good night, brother Patches.
Good night, my brother. Sounds like Raskalunji.
Yeah, it is Raskalunji. And I love the program today.
You do?
You see, you remember in the previous program, right? I tell you that all us is thief and we must stop thief. Yeah, you remember I said that? No, you're cute. You see what I'm saying? Okay, listen what I'm saying.
Yes, I did.
I want to touch on some topics tonight, right? You accuse the law minister, right?
Which minister?
The law minister of corruption.
The law student. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the law student, whatever. Yeah, right? Okay. Red team, unity, red team. Okay, look at now. You play some clips to the prime minister. They're accusing Team Unity of corruption too.
That's true.
So what I'm saying is that all the different administrations over a period, they're accusing each other of corruption. So the pot calling the kettle black.
So
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So what I'm trying to say is just a back and forth. So when the administration change, right? The opposition accuse them of corruption. When it change again, they're accusing each other of corruption all the time, and we ain't getting nowhere.
So what are you suggesting then?
I'm suggesting that we need to repent for our sins, sit down and trash out our differences.
Repent when one repent, yes, sorry. But when one transgresses the law, let the law run its course, don't you think?
No problem. Okay? But the point I'm making, I remember when Team Unity went in here, you read up some information about the Islam minister.
Yes.
When you all first went in.
Yes.
Nobody got prosecuted.
Well, because somebody was protecting and holding information.
Okay, fine.
I saw information, but I couldn't get all the details.
Okay, look, but the Prime Minister...
I found it strange that the Treasury won't have the details I asked for. I found it very, very strange.
Okay, but right now, the present Prime Minister is accusing people of taking money out of Development Bank.
But
and nobody don't get prosecuted either.
No, because the Prime Minister just talking because he got it at the mouth. If somebody take money out of Development Bank, take it to the court. They have a director of public prosecution. You have a special prosecutor. Take the matter to the court. He's just banging it at the mouth.
Yeah, but the point I'm making,
that's what the administration. That's what they
mean. I agree with you. All the administrations is saying the same thing and nothing is happening. Right. That's the point I'm making. So what I'm trying to show you, we can't get away because listen what I'm saying now. You said that the United States, right, is thinking about its security. Right? So they don't want China and link it up with Cuba and all this. If we could even go back to the Cuban Missile Crisis. Right? So what I'm saying now is the same argument Putin is making that he don't want Ukraine to join. Okay,
you're right. I totally agree with that. I know where you're going with that, and you're perfectly right.
Okay, good.
Yes.
But hear me now, right? What I'm saying to you now, the United States mash up the archery industry in Nevis. And they want to mash up the CBI. Now Trump is selling passports to Russia for $5 million.
To everybody, not just Russia.
Okay, good. The one I'm trying to show you, these imperialists is playing us.
Okay.
And we got to stop letting them play us.
I'm not getting from you what should we do to stop.
We should unite. We should unite. I said again, we should repent for our sins. All us Thieves.
Yeah, but I'm talking about being able to sustain yourself. How can you? What are we doing to get to that position?
But you just said none of the administrations come self-sufficient. We got land, we could plant food.
Right, and you're farming yourself, and so you know what I'm talking about, I'm sure.
Yeah,
yes.
But what I'm saying, the reason why we can't plant food in the proper way, because the United States want to supply us with food. That's yes of the market. Look here, we can't even kill a monkey. The animal rights people gonna jump up and say, oh, animal rights, you can't do that. It's them got us in the stronghold, and I know it.
Okay, rascology, my lines are really going. I know
your line is busy, but what I'm saying, my brother, listen what I'm saying. I'm saying these things all the time here. I'm being consistent. I'm saying to you, these people want to put us back on the plantation. And we got to stop playing politics over here. We got to sit down and trash out our differences.
You don't believe, sorry to interrupt, you don't believe that planting Tabasco peppers is going back on the plantation?
No, many want to talk about that. I talk to sustain ourselves.
Okay.
You see, you want to attack the administration. Okay, let me ask you a question before
no. So you don't plant peppers, plant the food you want to eat. That's the point.
Exactly.
Right.
I agree with that.
I gotta go because.
But listen me. Listen what I'm saying to you. Listen what I'm saying to you. Right? These people want to put us back on the plantation. We got to resolve our contradiction. Because look here. You're talking about illegal immigration in the United States. None of them Europeans belong to America. They're stolen land. Okay. We got to raise these things.
Okay,
and what I'm saying to you, the 50 million black people in America, those are our allies and they want independence from America.
Okay.
And we got to say that. We leadership got to say that, brother.
Okay, my brother. Thanks a lot for your contribution. As usual, I have to share the time. Equally as possible. I know some get 4 minutes, some get 2 minutes, but I like the dialogue all the time. Scholar, thank you for holding. It's 9:30. Are you there?
Mr. Straight Talk.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra. How are you, my brother?
I'm peaceful, my brother. I'm peaceful. Yourself?
What can I say? So far, so good. All is well. You really burning down tonight.
Whatever that means, my brother.
My brother, you just on fire tonight. That's all I can say. The line is on fire. That's all, and you are doing a wonderful job. I just want, Mr. Straight, let me just say a good night to my wonderful people, my brother Alvin there and his son George Reed and my nice lovely niece there in St. Louis and Texas Queen. How are you? My brother Culture, good night, and my niece there in St. Kitts Abby and Johnny. You guys be good, and my brother Adam and Ellis. Listen, Mr. Straight Up, I hear Prime Minister, well, let me deal with Barbados. She says that she bring doctors and nurses into Barbados, and they pay just like Bajans. But she didn't say that she putting them in houses. But now I listen to our Prime Minister, and he's saying that they get paid, but he are putting them up. And I'm saying, look at that. But did he pay? He paying them more money than what St. Kitts people is getting? St. Kitts Nelson is getting? Yes! Because she come out and she said, no, they're getting paid just like Bajan. But he ain't said nothing, nothing. I get paid like St. Kitts. But we provide home for them. I said, but look at that. He providing home for them, and people back there want home, understand nurses and things, and he not provide home for them, but he providing homes for Cubans. But hey, you just got to do what you got to do. Understand? And that's who he is. Understand? Is that to bask up pepper seed, King Lawyer, Prime Minister. And he can't do no better. So that's where he's gonna end up. So and everybody talk about sustainment and can't you look, we always need America and America always need us. We can't go left each other. And just like you said, if you shut down, just like when Canada shut down everything, you see what happened to St. Kitts? Well, I see same thing will happen because I cannot go, you cannot come, I can. A whole ton of dirty politics going to go on. But Mr. Chesak, I think I say enough for tonight. So let me leave you alone to do what you got to do because the line is burning up and you is burning up. I don't want you to call the fire truck.
Okay.
I don't want you to call the fire truck because he may come and he don't have no water can to the student. My brother, take care of yourself. Till I see you when I see you. See you soon.
Brother. Abracadabra. Yes, my dear brother. Always good to hear you. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello,
Patches, a pleasant good evening to you, sir. Marsha here.
How are you, Marsha? Good evening to you.
And moving on. Patches, I have a bit of
Marsha, I'm sorry to interrupt you here. You have your equipment on? Are you pretty close to your equipment?
Okay, I'm moving from it. I'm moving away from it. I'm clear.
You can even lock it off and listen to your telephone.
Okay, hold on.
I want the whole world to hear you.
Hold on, Patches. Let me lock it off.
Yes, I want the whole world to hear you. I'll wait forever for you tonight, Marsha, because I know your mouth is not held with a bit and bridle.
I'm clear to go?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Patches, a pleasant good evening to you, sir.
Good evening.
I want to touch base. I want to touch base on 4 topics tonight. But the first, I must say that I went to Virtual's Sports Day yesterday, and I want to commend the principal, the staff, the teachers, the children for a tremendous sports day yesterday. Patches, I think that was the biggest sport day ever in St. Kitts, and St. Kitts actually, because, throughout the high schools, that Virtual's sport that was very, very, very good yesterday. Okay, Patches, let me move on because I realize that your line, I light it up fast and I hear with my phone in my hand calling in about 20 times and I can't get through. But anyhow, Patches, I must say, you know if music festival is on?
As far as I know, yes.
Well, if music festival is on, I want to send a notice to the government. If they're having music festival, the roads need to be fixed. The place need to be cleaned up. Today I went to town and all the drains are stink. The drains need to be clean in the Bastille area. And most of all, those crazy people where they have on the road back and forth, if they're having music festival and they're bringing Vice Cartel here, I'm saying that we are in March. Music festival is supposed to be in June. So they need to start to work now. Certain areas need lighting. Because Vice Cartel I see him on the poster and I hear that he's coming. And if we know who his Vice Cartel is, we need to step up on the security. We need to step up on the roads. We need to step up on the lighting. Patches, we ain't ready to welcome the world yet. Because, I'm going in town today, when you're going across Karen Street, the drains are so stink. I had to drive and put my head out of the window. And I'm calling on the government tonight to take the Minister of Health. The Minister of Health, the drains in the Bastille areas are very stink. They need to be cleaned. And also the potholes. The potholes, them need to be fixed. Patrice, all these need to be taken care of before we have this music festival. And Patrice, again, yesterday I went to the Virtuals, and just a mind tell me, I had on orange. Something say, when you go, just put on my PLP hat. I put on my PLP hat, and I see a minister of government watching me like he want to fly on me. What I want today, people can wear what they want. People are supposed to be able to wear what they want. I am saying, and I said it a couple times ago, if everybody in St. Kitts vote for Labour, it makes no sense that we have an opposition. It makes no sense we have PLP party, it makes no sense we have PAM, it makes no sense we have CCM, it makes no sense we have NRP. And everybody can vote for the same. Everybody can vote for the same. And Patrice, I was in town today again, and the people are saying the marshals come to me and they're saying that they need the pay. The marshals, some of the marshals, you know what I'm talking about, right, Patrice? Those who work in December. Carnival? They say they haven't getting the pay yet. So I'm calling on the Carnival committee to try to sort out the marshals, Patrice. Okay. Patrice, I'm gonna hear right now, and I'm gonna call back if I get back in. But I always admonish you to tell you, get home safe and be very careful and take care of yourself and continue doing the great work that you are doing. Because in due season you will reap the good of the land. Have a good night, Patrice. Bye.
Have a good night as well, my dear family. Marshall, always good to hear you, and you raise some very important points, valid points as well. Apart from the potholes too, I believe that the roads need markings. There must be markings on the road, especially when you have visitors coming. Not only visitors, you don't have to wait on that, but the roads should be always marked. Why they're not marked, I don't know. DJ Marisha, you have been calling these so-called journalists to ask the ministers appropriate questions when they attend the Prime Minister's round table, or in most cases his quiet table press conference. This will never happen for several reasons. Once, they only carry the name journalists, but in reality they are fraudsters misrepresenting the name of the profession. 2, most of them have relegated themselves as palace guards to the Prime Minister, looking and begging for favors. They want land, they want house, and some don't even own a vehicle. Hence, they cannot afford to jeopardize their chances of being rewarded. I have seen the National Bank vehicle transport some of them over the peninsula to catch the boat for Nevis, to cover stories for the Premier and the NIA. I do not know if they were remunerated financially afterwards, but what I am telling you is incontrovertible and understandable. You see, they are not independent men like you, Marisha, who has demonstrated your ability to fear no man and have worked hard for what you own. But these fraudsters thrive on dependency for survival. They have no damn shame to be calling themselves journalists. Let's go to the lines. Thank this caller for holding. Caller, you live. Hello, caller?
Yes, thank you again. Yes, good night again, Patches. First of all, I should say good night to a very special lady in St. Kitts. I will stay there. And moving forward, the lady who spoke just now, at least we miss Jamdong, because Jamdong is a local person who will show his concern about the country. So at least someone second that. Now, I must say, instead of politicians, opposition, pointing fingers at each other, why don't we focus on what the needs of the country is, what the people need, what will be in their manifesto? Too much fight, pointing fingers, blaming game. Enough is enough. Get over those children. Children, you are behaving like children. Focus on what is needy, not wanty. Thank you. I'll leave it for someone else. Bye for now.
Thank you very much. I want Marsha read this email to tell Little Bo P to stop harass the cleaners once and for all. We have had enough and we not taking any more harassment. Every minute she harassing the cleaners left, right, and center for what we don't know. Patches, we are not thieves, so why are we getting harassed? First she was harassing me as a daughter. Now she harassing my mother. Well, Little Bo P, we are unto you. We're not taking any more harassment from you no more. And you, Marsha Henderson, if you think we in Central forget you, you lie. We're waiting for you to show up at our doorsteps because the amount of votes we have in here, you're going to bawl on your knees to convince us. You need to put Little Bo P in her place. She's making you look ghetto and highly irregular. Reads this email. The Attorney General liked to come up with his white man jokes, but nobody laughing except himself grinning. This is the second time I heard him trying to give a joke in respect of the so-called fake marriages. He said when a husband asks to kiss his wife, she refused, saying, no, 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 me not kiss he. Mr. AG, I'm saying to you, you lie. Your imaginary white man jokes need some honey and sugar. Then you went on to say that when some done married, they get married again to get more money. Well, how come, AG, you're not charging anyone with bigamy? That is because you are a compulsive liar. Stop making up your weird stories for nobody laughing. Let's go back to the lines, caller. Thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Bachil. Good night again.
Yes, sir.
You asked me a question earlier. What can we do to solve our problem if the United States has to really bring any serious pressure on us? The Caribbean islands have to come together and do proper trading with each other. And I think that's one of these situations that would help the country, the Caribbean islands, to be more independent by feeding themselves. That's very important. Caribbean islands come together, do proper trading with each other. And then the United States would realize that the Caribbean islands have some backbone within themselves and they cannot enslave us by putting sanctions on us and trying to take food. Because you talk about tropical coming and if it cannot come, what will we do? But if we unite, the Caribbean islands unite, the Caribbean islands unite, like how we used to get food from Canada in Bratcher time, flour, salmon, different things from Canada. We have to reach back out to those countries and stop depending on the United States wholesomely because Majority of the food, United States food, are no good for human consumption. So the Caribbean islands need to come together, feed each other, and then we'll be a strong people. Come to Marco Rubio now. Marco Rubio is a Cuban descendant. He wants to manipulate the Caribbean islands and tell them what to do, and saying the Caribbean islands is enslaving the Cubans. He's enslaving his own people because he's upholding the sanctions for so many years against his people. And now he's in position now to fight to move the sanction on his people, his brothers and sisters. He's not doing it. He's not doing the government nothing. He's doing his own people. So Marco Rubio needs to check himself because he's an Uncle Tom. Have a good night, Patrice. Thank you.
Have a good night as well, my Straight Talk family. Yes, that's what Straight Talk is all about. And very good points made in terms of trading with each other. But one has to consider the population size as well of the Caribbean in itself. And the other thing to consider is transportation, air transportation, and in particular, maritime or sea transportation. I mean, in the days gone by with the federal palm and the federal maple, when these vessels plied up north and south. But I don't know if you're aware that we can connect the vessel from St. Kitts to Trinidad. From Trinidad to St. Kitts, most times they go over the United States to Florida to get back to St. Kitts. So to Jamaica, there's no connections. And while the points are well made, these are things you must consider as well. Maritime transportation and transportation generally that would be able to connect the islands. I want to concur with that emailer who spoke about Marishaw. It is definitely true what they said. Reads this emailer. A pleasant good evening to you, Patches. Patches, Uncle Sam, under the leadership of President Donald Trump, will be doing a great favor to every man, woman, and child in St. Kitts and Nevis when he withdraws the visit of all the government ministers and their families. With the withdrawal of their visits, St. Kitts and Nevis will then get the opportunity to save millions of dollars, which July and the Snake governments wasted daily on first-class plane rides and luxury hotels for themselves and family and friends. No more per diem for them, as those funds can be put to better use for the poor and downtrodden. Dr. July and the Snake government will be forced to go to JNF and Alexandria Hospital for treatment just like us. The same hospitals they see fit as veterinary clinics to treat cats and dogs. They will be forced to buy groceries in our local supermarkets, just like us, and feel the brunt of the high cost of living that they subjected us to. I beg Uncle Donald Trump to come quick and rescue us from our slave masters, Dr. July and the Snake. Reads this email. Mr. Liburd, I knew that the Nevis snake would one day be caught in his backyard because a liar has no memory. When Justice Ventus was based in the Federation, he delivered some judgments that were not acceptable to the snake and his party. In one of these cases, he ruled against the wife of the snake, and the snake became so angry that he cursed off the judge one night on his show. Neither the Attorney General nor the Crooked Bar Association censored and berated the snake. Fast forward, when some of the snake's supporters started cursing and threatening the judge on social media, the snake gave a false impression that it was Harris and Team Unity that was behind the abuse of the judge. The question was raised as to why Team Unity supporters would do something like that to the judge when they had no case before the judge. But the snake had several that were ruled against him. Now last week, the snake launched a scorching attack on the judge, Ventus, on his Facebook page. It has now come to light that it was the the snake and his supporters who chased Judge Ventus out of the Federation, reads this email. Good night, Patches. Ask the Major to come straight and stop hiding behind the curtain and say what he wants to say. The diplomacy ain't working here. Ain't the soldiers no more. Fall out, Major. Fall out, reads this email. Patches, greetings. Last night I was looking at a YouTube program and I saw something which raised my eyebrows. I then remembered Philippe Martinez. There was a man in Dominica, and the government of Dominica gave him a diplomatic passport, and he was pretending to be a clean man, and he was made an ambassador, and he had some problems with Dominica, and so he left Dominica, and he was seen in a picture shaking the hand of a U.S. cabinet member. And it is said that he blew the news about corruption with the sale of passports in Dominica. It is said that the PM of Dominica has not addressed the issue of the list of the places which have been listed as not safe. Patches, what do you think would happen with St. Kitts, Nevis, and the U.S.? It's very confusing because it's nerve-wracking. Confused, reads this email. Patches, I implore you to give Dr. Jeffrey Hanley some big up. I see the road at Ponds Patches is getting fixed. I refer to the road where Tucker Clark is located. Pressure from the people, I guess. Patches, there's a calm as it relates to crime. How come you ain't bigging up your band brother Woosie, the NSA, but you big up Marshall for cruise ships increase that was signed off under Lindsey Grant and Team Unity? Come on, Patches, reads this email. And this other email reads, good night, Patches. Where did they find that drunkard, dumb so-called advisor who is known for begging and borrowing? What caused this man have an ear representing the country on matters related to the U.S.? He's a dummy. He cannot match up with Donald Trump. I can for Marco Rubio to turn up these corrupt politicians in the Caribbean, reads this email. Yes, I have dispensed of my emails. I'm happy for that. And as we have some 9 minutes remaining, I will ensure I get in as many calls as possible for those remaining minutes. And if you join me belatedly, we looked, my Straight Dog family, we discussed our title of the thesis tonight, Tangled, Diplomatic Web, and Thieves in Cabinet. The first part of the title attracted most attention, and many of you spoke on the potential risks that we face if there is a risk, but in terms of potentially losing our business. As I made the point that we are nestled in the heart of the Caribbean. St. Kitts Nevis is a federation of 2 beautiful islands, but one lovely paradise, once known for its warm hospitality, tranquil beauty, and close-knit community. Right now, however, we are, as a federation, ensnared in a web of complex geopolitics and internal corruption. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Your greetings again, Brother Pattis, Kolonji.
Yes, sir.
Now, the present situation that we find ourselves in, would you accuse the present government of bringing it on to us?
Well,
with the Cuban situation?
The Cuban situation?
Yeah.
Why should I accuse the present government?
No, because what I'm saying is independent of them. The point I'm trying to get across to our people, we got to focus on who is our enemy. We are not each other's enemy. So when I train, okay,
We've had diplomatic relations with Cuba since about 2003 or 2004, maybe later, earlier than that. So that's over 20 years. So I don't understand.
But the hegemon is telling us we got to give up that.
Who's saying that to us?
The Empire of the United States.
There were two issues. I'm sorry to interrupt you, so that our listeners and viewers would be clear, right? There were two issues raised, right? One, the first issue was raised in terms of what they call complicity, in that the meaning the US so of the view that we are using and abusing the medical professionals from Cuba. I'm aware, for example, that based on the arrangements with the Cuban government, they never got all of their salary when they came to islands like ours. For example, it's my understanding, and I stand corrected. I got this from inside someone who is a Cuban, that they would have had to pay 50% of their salary into the embassy once we've had that embassy here in St. Kitts. So they don't get all their salary, all on the books, right? And I think the salary is paid to the Cuban embassy. So that is what is called the abuse of the workers. And in other countries, they don't get their full salary they work for. Now, Prime Minister Motley raised a point that they paid, but Motley only had the Cuban doctors for the COVID. They don't have Cuban doctors on a regular basis in Barbados. So that's entirely different. The other thing about the visa restriction has to do with the CBI programs. So that's another issue. So I wanted to make sure that is clear when we're having this discussion.
Okay, no problem. Now let me deal with the payment. Right? In Cuba, education is free.
Here too.
So you can contribute something back to the state. America is talking about human trafficking and you're exploiting workers. These Europeans exploit us for 400 years and now come telling us about human rights. I mean, come on, we gotta stop letting these imperialists play us. These people are playing us. And we got to stop one with their narrative.
You know.
Look at what's Go ahead.
I'm sorry. You know. When I understand what you're saying, I'm not getting. What is the alternative to what? Yeah.
The alternative again. We need to repent locally and unite, and we need to unite. Black people, you need to unite everywhere we are, especially in the Western world. That is the solution to the problem. Because once you united and speak with one voice, they can't play us. We continue to let these colonialists and imperialists play us. And that is the problem. Look how they got Haiti. President Aristide was democratically elected twice. They kidnapped him twice. I mean, come on, I'm not making up nothing here, man.
Okay.
Look how much black political prisoners there in the United States. We can't even raise that. We're impotent because we are not united.
Okay.
Come on, man. We gotta get rid of Usinada and stop being against each other. I can't be against you, Patrick, and you against me when we're suffering from the same thing. These people don't want to see us rise, and that is the problem. We got to face that. Okay. I gotta cut off my left hand to spite my right. It don't make sense.
I've heard you.
We got to get rid of Usinada, my brother.
I've heard you, my brother. I heard you loud and clear, right?
We got to raise these things, man. Yes. Look how much Cuba has done. Sister Asata Shoko, right, was a member of the Black Panther Party. The Black Liberation Army break out of jail because she was locked up on trumped-up charges. What's it? She's in exile in Cuba. No other country could have facilitated her.
I've heard you, my brother. I'm out of time, so I have to cut it here.
Okay, no problem.
Thanks a lot for your contributions. Again, the countries, as countries, we have to get self-sufficient. You know, we hear a lot of talk about sustainable island state and so on, but countries have to be able to sustain themselves. that is the simple. Yes, you say repent. Yes, repent. We show remorse for our wrongdoings or what we did to each other, right? But truth be told, at the end of the day, and in reality, we all must appear before the judgment seat of Christ, and we may be recompensed for the things that we have done. And my Straight Talk family, I think I'm going to wrap it here. Perhaps if I take one or maximum two more calls, if they can be guided by the rules of brevity. But our federation is ensnared, as I said, in a web of complex geopolitics. We are also grappling, my Straight Talk family, with corruption. And we must continue this discussion as it relates to the disappearance of the director or chairman of the East Coast Housing Development Project. I said before and I'll say again, this government in office is unclean. And I'll conclude this program with a strong view. And without a doubt, that thieves are in cabinet. When we look at the construction of the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw Museum, when we look at the procurement of the 1,000 water buckets, and I said there's a gaping hole in the government treasury that will soon be fully exposed, no matter what you hear the slow student said. He said the government has lost no money. But debt secured by the government guarantee, how was it leveraged? How did the contractor use that guarantee? I shared with you an excerpt from the resolution passed in Parliament. I'll share it with you before I leave. Where has that $10 million gone? Almost $30 million. Why didn't the Attorney General advise the government to sign a contract for those 2 model homes instead of one for 2,400 houses for someone who had no track record in building houses, no project references, not one? And I say, we can't start wrong and expect to end right. Who gone with all that money? $10 million missing. Was the slow student cashing any checks? And I suggest we give them 1 term if we want to safeguard the treasury. And from a diplomatic perspective, as I end, restricting our visas, believe it or not, would decrease airline bookings and would ultimately impact occupancy, would drop significantly. Our over arrivals would decrease. So what will become of those jobs in the sector and the service industry, which is the mainstay of our economy? And my Straight Talk family, the second Prime Minister and now the Trade and Foreign Minister said this about trade. This is what he said about trade. So when we're talking, listen to the facts.
Trade, of course, the development of trade in St. Kitts and Nevis and where we are continues to be quite a bit of a challenge. I mentioned earlier that the manufacturing sector, which traditionally would have been providing most of our goods, manufactured goods to export, that of course is not doing well. The traditional exports therefore have dwindled, but we still have some promise in the future.
In the future? What about the present? If we don't export, how do we get foreign direct or foreign exchange? The only foreign direct investment we have is our CBI. That rakes in millions. But that has gone. And hopefully, we pray it will come back. Because the Jew administration spoke about diversifying. But, my Straight Dog family, in conclusion, I'll take this, our final call, my Straight Dog family. If this caller can use 10 seconds, why you always call me when I'm rapping? I recognize this number here now. Are you there?
Yes, Patches. Yeah, Patches. Yeah, because I got cut off earlier, man.
You did?
Anyway, promising trade. Where is that promise at, man?
Good question.
But anyway, our leaders are all sellout, man. They're all sellouts. With all that money collected in CBI over all them years, think it's Nevis should be in tip-top shape, and that's not the case. We are still scranting. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. Have yourself a good night as well. But the Jew administration is having what I call an identity crisis. The lowest ever ranking of any Labour Party, according to the results of a survey that I saw, that was conducted here in January 2025. Terence Michael Drew has also been ranked as the most unpopular leader in the country. And my Straight Dog family, from all I have seen and all I have gathered, we are in a tangled diplomatic web with thieves in cabinet. And that's my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God, nonetheless, for guiding our conversation tonight, as always. I want to thank you, the many viewers, the listeners, those of you who sent emails, and those of you who called. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big thank you. I am Ian Patches Liburd, and God's will, we will connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk. And I want you to get abreast with my daily prayer. When you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Dog family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Thursday. Remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. Bye-bye, my Straight Dog family.
So I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow.